At least 3 of the defendants in the FBI's probe into bribery and corruption in college basketball are discussing taking a deal with prosecutors, according to the LA Times. The paper obtained documents filed with the U.S. District Court in the Southern District of New York that stated that a 12-week continuance has been granted for Christian Dawkins, Munish Sood and Jonathan Brad Augustine, as they have been engaged in, and are continuing, discussions concerning a possible disposition of these cases. Dawkins' lawyer, Steve Haney, told NBC Sports that the continuance had nothing to do with his client negotiating a plea deal. Though the continuance was anticipated, the suggestion it is based on my client's cooperation with the federal government is patently false, Haney told NBC Sports. Christian Dawkins is not talking. He has no reason to talk and will aggressively fight the allegations. Dawkins was a runner, a recruiter for an agent, essentially, that had been associated with Andy Miller's agency. Sood was the financial advisor that Dawkins had allegedly partnered with to fund an operation that, again, allegedly, bribed college basketball coaches in an effort to get them to funnel the players under their control to that financial advisor. Augustine is an AAU coach in Florida who attempted to help facilitate payments to 2 recruits that have yet to reach college. Since the FBI dropped the bombshell last month that 4 assistant coaches were among the 10 people that had been arrested, the case has gone somewhat quiet. But if the people that have been caught up start talking to authorities, the tentacles and reach of this case will continue to grow. Georgia Tech sophomore guard Josh Okogie could miss time for the Yellow Jackets after leaving Saturday's exhibition game against Georgia State with an apparent compound fracture to one of the fingers on his left hand. One of the nation's most productive freshmen last season, the 6'4" Okogie left in the second half and left the court with a finger that was heavily wrapped, according to a report from Ken Sugiura of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. After the game, Georgia Tech head coach Josh Pastner said the injury was a compound fracture, saying a bone in one of his fingers pierced the skin. "Well, just have to wait till the doctors to come back with a diagnosis, but he could be out for a while," Pastner said after the game. "We just don't know yet." The loss of Okogie is a potentially big one for the Yellow Jackets, as he was sensational at times during a surprise freshman season. Without his scoring punch in the lineup, Georgia Tech will look to a pair of seniors in big man Ben Lammers and guard Tadrick Jackson to increase their scoring after both averaged double figures last season. Georgia State pulled off the minor upset over Georgia Tech with the 6,558 exhibition win as guard DeMarcus Simons scored a game-high 30 points to pace the Panthers. The exhibition, played for charity hurricane relief efforts as many teams have done this fall, was the first time the 2 programs had met since 2008. Okogie wasn't the only Yellow Jacket to suffer an injury in this one, as guard Branson Alston suffered a sprained MCL. Georgia Tech opens its regular season with a tough test against UCLA on November 10. Evanston, Ill. AP, finally free of that NCAA tournament albatross, Northwestern comes into the season with something else hovering over the team. That would be high expectations. It's something that we've never encountered and we're excited to see how well handle that. Attention, star guard Brian McIntosh said. The school that hosted the first Final Four finally got to experience an NCAA appearance last season. And with most of their top players back, the Wildcats are out to show that was no aberration. While challenging for the Big Ten championship might be a stretch, Northwestern comes into its 5th season under coach Chris Collins with an experienced roster and an appetite for more. "What happened was great," Collins said. "It was a great experience, a great group of guys that accomplished a lot. But now, it's a new journey. It's a new team. Guys have gotten better." The Wildcats have most of their key players back from a team that won 24 games and squeezed past Vanderbilt in their first NCAA appearance. A 6-point loss to eventual runner-up Gonzaga that featured a big comeback by Northwestern and a crushing technical on Collins after the officials missed a goaltend by the Zags ended that run. But the standards are higher than ever for Northwestern. The school rewarded Collins, extending his contract through the 202,425 season. Some things to know as the Wildcats try to make it back-to-back NCAA appearances, starting with the season opener against Loyola MD on November 10. Temporary home Collins hopes the crowds that started to fill Welsh Ryan Arena late last season will make the trip to All-State Arena in Rosemont. The Wildcats will be playing home games about 15 miles from campus while their arena undergoes a major renovation. The school is replacing wooden bleachers with chair-back seats, updating audio and video systems, adding premium seating and widening concourses as part of a $110 million overhaul of the arena. Work is scheduled to be completed next fall. For now, the building is basically a shell with steel beams exposed and boosted open exterior walls. A $20 million facility for men's and women's basketball, volleyball and other programs that will be built inside an existing adjacent building is expected to open in late 2018 or 2019. Every time I drive past there or walk past it, it's kind of surreal to see what's going on, but exciting at the same time, because what we have coming is going to be a program changer in terms of the resources, the facilities, said Collins, a Chicago area native. It's something that I know was a long time coming. We're really excited about the end result. Scorers return. The Wildcats have their top 5 scorers back from last season, and they have a pair of preseason All-Big Ten guards in McIntosh and Scottie Lindsey. They were 0-2 in scoring for Northwestern last year, averaging 14.8 and 14.1 points, respectively. McIntosh also averaged 5.2 assists to tie for the Big Ten lead. Forward-thinking, the Wildcats are also well-stocked up front, led by forward Vic Law. The Wildcats' third-leading scoring and second-leading rebounder, he made the Big Ten's all-defensive team. Derek Pardon is also back after ranking second in the conference in field goal percentage .611, fourth in blocks 1.8 per game and seventh in rebounding 8.0 RPG. He's back. Northwestern could get a boost with forward Aaron Falson back from a season-ending knee injury. He played in just 3 games a year ago after a promising freshman season. Falson hit 63 three-pointers 2 years ago, the second most by a Northwestern freshman. It was definitely a different experience for me watching the guys out there, Falson said. But I think it helped me. It helped me mature. The game slowed down a little bit because I got to watch from the sidelines a little bit more. It was an interesting experience. On tap, the Wildcats will play 3 games in 6 days during a busy early season stretch when they visit Georgia Tech November 28, host Illinois December 1 and play at Purdue December 3. They also have non-conference games against Creighton at home November 15, Texas Tech or Boston College in Uncasville, Con. November 19 and at Oklahoma December 22. The NAIA will relocate the Division II men's basketball championships out of Branson, Missouri after differing opinions on national anthem protests divided members of the organization. According to a release from the NAIA, the organization and the College of the Ozarks mutually agreed to move the DII championships out of Branson, Missouri, where the championships have been held the last 18 years, after the College of the Ozarks no pledge, no play policy became an issue. The no pledge, no play policy not only bans College of the Ozarks student-athletes from participating if they partake in a national anthem protest, but the school also refuses to compete against any other school that allows for that sort of protest. We want to make it clear that we are not going to participate in a game where we think disrespect for the national anthem or the flag is being displayed, College of the Ozarks President Jerry Davis told the Kansas City Star earlier this week. I don't think it's a partisan issue. It's an American issue, how we feel about our country. While the NAIA respects the College of the Ozarks having a rule based around the national anthem, the school wanted to expand the rule to include all 250 NAIA member schools, something that the NAIA was not comfortable with. The NAIA respects the rights of all our members to determine the best course of action for their teams in regards to the national anthem, NAIA President Jim Carr said in the release. However, our first priority is providing student-athletes the best event possible, and neither the NAIA nor the College of the Ozarks want this issue to disrupt the competition or diminish the student-athlete experience. In the official release announcing the move out of Branson, the NAIA also encouraged everybody to stand during the playing of the national anthem. Later in the release, the NAIA also maintained that protecting the right to peaceful protest and freedom of speech are indisputable rights in the United States. The timing of this championship relocation announcement is a bit awkward for the NAIA since the organization awarded the College of the Ozarks for hosting the best NAIA Student-Athlete Championship Experience event back in August. The College of the Ozarks, and town of Branson, have been known to do a great job hosting the 32-team event during the past 18 years, so it will be fascinating to see if the NAIA can find a new championship atmosphere that can match the popular previous destination. The College of the Ozarks made national news earlier this week as the school is requiring all freshmen to enroll in its patriotic education and fitness program. The official course description for the 3-credit class reads, a required general education course designed to encourage an understanding of American heritage, civic responsibilities, love of country, and willingness to defend it. The NAIA missed the opportunity to take a stand, Davis said in a College of the Ozarks official release. They refused to craft a simple policy requiring players to stand for the national anthem. The NAIA's refusal demonstrates a lack of moral clarity on a significant national issue. Their decision contradicts their own character emphasis that identifies respect as a key trait, and we believe they are missing a golden opportunity to teach student athletes about the honor due our country and its veterans. We appreciate the efforts of the staff to communicate our concerns to the committee, Davis continued. Unfortunately, it appears the committee believes the do-your-own-thing mentality supersedes patriotism. College of the Ozarks takes seriously its patriotic mission and thus has made the decision to no longer host the tournament. Ann Arbor, Michigan. AP, John Beilein is prepared for some growing pains this season. I hope I'm not being a Debbie Downer here with this thing, the Michigan coach said. Our early schedule, we're going to be hit with stuff. The Wolverines learned firsthand in 201,617 how quickly a team's struggles can be forgotten if they play their best basketball at the end of the season. A February push turned into a Big Ten tournament title in March, and then finally an NCAA Sweet 16 appearance. It was an important run for Beilein's program, which was coming off a couple uninspiring seasons and needed to capitalize while Derek Walton was a senior. Now Walton, Zach Irvin and DJ Wilson must be replaced, and although Michigan isn't exactly in a rebuilding mode, a new-look lineup may need some time to develop the necessary chemistry. Mo Wagner, Michigan's versatile big man, decided to pass on the NBA and come back to the Wolverines. He'll be an obvious focal point after averaging 12.1 points a game and shooting 56% from the field last season. I hate when people say, I added this to my game this summer, Wagner said. I always work on everything, try to improve in every part of the game, try to be as versatile as possible. Obviously, the passing thing is something that I focused on, because I'm aware that it's going to be a little different this year. Wagner, who had only 20 assists last season, will probably receive more attention from opposing teams, and staying out of foul trouble at the defensive end will be important for him. Here are a few more things to watch at Michigan this season. Transfers guards Jaren Simmons and Charles Matthews are expected to play significant roles. Simmons is a graduate transfer from Ohio, and Matthews transferred from Kentucky. Simmons averaged 17.2 points last season while playing for one of the top teams in the Mid-American Conference, and his arrival could help alleviate the loss of Walton in the backcourt. Early challenges. Michigan heads to Hawaii in November for a tournament that includes LSU, Notre Dame and Wichita State. Not long after returning from that event, the Wolverines travel to North Carolina to take on the defending national champions in the AC Big Ten Challenge. Then the conference season starts in early December with games against Indiana and Ohio State, followed by a return to non-conference play against UCLA and Texas. I can't imagine a tougher Michigan schedule ever than we have right now. I think when we got here 10 years ago, we were playing an average of 18 or 19 BCS games, Beilein said. This is like 24 or 25 BCS games, and we've got 5 in a row, and depending on what happens in Maui, we're going to have 7 or 8 done before Christmas. Beyond the arc as usual, Michigan figures to rely heavily on the three-point shot. Duncan Robinson is back after shooting 42% from a long range in 201,617, while Wagner and Muhammad Ali Abdurrahman are capable outside shooters. Defense. Beilein added assistant Billy Donlin to his staff last season and put him in charge of the team's defense, which has long been an issue. Michigan did make some strides in that area, but then Donlin left to join Northwestern's staff. The Wolverines will try to keep making progress at the defensive end without him. Youth Xavier Simpson, who averaged 8.7 minutes a game backing up Walton last season, now has some experience under his belt, and he probably still won't be under too much pressure with Simmons in the fold. Freshman guard Eli Brooks could also be a factor after averaging 29.7 points as a high school senior. The Duke basketball team wore T-shirts that read equality during warm-ups against reigning Division II national champions Northwest Missouri State. Mike Krzyzewski has, in the past, been critical politically, speaking out against North Carolina's bathroom bill in 2016. There's a lot of mixed messages about standing before the game. All of our guys want to stand, head coach Mike Krzyzewski said after the game. We wanted to make sure that the equality shirt stood for one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's what our program and our school is about. That's what we want our country to be. That's why we stand in reverence to the men and women who served our country, protected those rights. But also, for every race, every gender, every religion. That's what our country is about. We wanted to initially let everyone know, when we stand, that's what we stand for. We don't have to wear it all the time, but tonight we did because it's the first time this group stood together. Duke is the preseason #1 team in the country.